Hey, we got deities galore. Stick around, I'll tell you about it. Hiya, folks. Old Man Grognard here, and I've got another book to show you. It's called Deities, Demenities, and Personalities by Mothshade Concepts, and let me tell you about it. Deities, Demenities, and Personalities is a book for the Avamere setting by David A. Hill, published by Mothshade Concepts. The book is about 88 pages long. As you can see, it is a single column, very easy to read, mostly based on the original 3 books and their supplements. And it details the deities of the world of Avamere, and then some. They have 6 pantheons, plus other gods that other creatures worship. Plus, it's got some really nice NPCs in the back that just happen to inhabit the world here, with complete stats and things like that, plus relics, magic items, and it's just a great all-around deity book. Okay, that's the basics. Let me go into a little more detail on it. Now, this introduces a new cleric class called the Reliquarians, and they follow relics and rituals of deities, which they call Demenities here, which are kind of like demigods or deities with a little more limited scope, so it makes for a larger pantheon, actually. They also have 3 new druid sects, the Iron Circle Druids, Nightshade Druids, and Pallid Druids. There's also the clerics of the Amargiel Court. If you've seen my other review there, that's kind of takes place of it's sort of a Game of Thrones-ish type house organization, and paladins follow them instead of the church. Although there are probably church paladins out there too. But they talk about the clerics of the court. Also, it talks about human and non-human clerics. And it's organized into 6 pantheons: the illuminators, the keepers, the preservers, the providers, the revelers, and the strangers. But there's also other things in there too, like the Chancellor of Wasps, Arish Saints, Sphinxes, and other things. Also, they have a nice section on the deities of the trolls, because in Avamere, trolls are not quite the same thing as a D&D troll. It's a little more, they're related to the jinn and things like that, so they deal with those too. And in the back, you'll find a section on NPCs of the world, not just clerics, and they are all completely done out with stats and things. And it also talks about relics, magic items, potions and oils, wand staves, all those kind of. So it's not quite a grab bag, but it's got a lot to choose from. I don't know if I'd be using it. Well, actually, I probably would. I'm already using a class from there in my next Swords and Wizardry game. And by the way, this was written with Swords and Wizardry white box in mind, which means you can adapt it to practically any old school game you want. But there's a lot to choose from there, and I like the idea of the Demenities, because I like the idea of these little godlings that together make a pantheon, but you break them down. It's like, oh, here's the god of hearths. Here's the god of plows. Here's the goddess of harvest. Here's the god of doorknobs, that kind of thing. I kind of like that because you can do a lot with it. And you can also have clerics and druids of these gods, and you could break it down as minutely as possible. Let me put it that way. It's very granular, which is, I think, a strength in the book. David Hill writes very clear, and he's very concise, and he knows what he knows what he wants, because it's his world. This is one of those guys where they created a D&D world when they first started D&D, or first started DMing, I should say, and they just stuck with it through everything. They may have played other games, other genres and stuff, but their D&D stuff was always he always ran his world. Let me put it that way. What it sounds like, he never ran the realms, he never ran Greyhawk, he never ran anything else but Avamere. And while I find that a little I don't know, a little restrictive. At the same time, I got to admire the guy. I mean, this is how Ed Greenwood started with the Forgotten Realms. He just kept, and that is starting before he discovered D&D. He just kept writing and writing and writing about this world. You get a world stuck in your head, and you start playing with it, and you start coming up with stuff, and you just, it's like rolling downhill. It gathers moss, but it also gathers momentum, and pretty soon you've got a whole world, and you know what's going on and everything like that, and you really don't need anything else. I'm sure you could borrow stuff from other games, but you don't really need any other campaign. And he said this started out as just one book where he just wanted to put his world down so he could understand it. And then other people looked at it and say, hey, I want the copy of this. And next thing you know, he's publishing it. Next thing you know, he's got like 5 books out. He's already got 2 modules out for this world. And he's coming out with more. So it's something worth looking at. Now, where to get it? Okay, Drive-Thru-RPG and RPG Now, pretty much right now, as of this recording, you can get the PDFs of all of them, including this one. And it's $6.99 per. So about $7, do the math, $35, you'll have the whole thing. And print on demand is coming as of this recording. So keep an eye on Drive-Thru-RPG or RPG Now, and they will probably give a POD option soon. So that's my review of this good product, very good product, a lot to steal, a lot to use. And until next time, I'll see you folks later. Bye-bye.